In a world that feels like it's spinning faster and faster, how do we possibly keep our balance? Well, today we're going to break down a framework that does more than just put a name to the chaos. It actually gives us a roadmap to navigate it. We're going from VUCA to VUCA Prime. So let's be real. Does it ever feel like you're just trying to keep your head above water? With everything from global health crises to huge economic shakeups, it feels like the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet. If you feel that way, you are definitely not alone. And guess what? There's actually a term for this feeling. It all starts with volatility. Now, this isn't just about things changing. It's about the incredible speed and the totally unpredictable nature of that change. Just think about how a single new app can basically upend an entire industry, seemingly overnight. That's volatility. Then you've got uncertainty. This is that nagging feeling that everything you've learned from the past might not help you tomorrow. I mean, all the historical data in the world might not predict the next big market shift because the rules of the game have completely changed. And then there's complexity. Oh boy. This isn't just things being complicated. It's this massive, tangled web where everything is interconnected. A tiny issue with the supply chain in one part of the world can create these huge ripple effects everywhere else. Simple cause and effect? Pretty much out the window. And finally, we're dealing with ambiguity. This is that fuzziness, that lack of clarity. You might have a ton of information, but it's all conflicting, or it just doesn't make sense. It's like trying to navigate a new city with a map where half the streets are just gone. So you put it all together. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. And what do you get? You get the acronym VUCA. It's a framework that was created to give a name to this chaos so we can finally start to get a handle on it. Now, here's a fun fact you might not know. A lot of people think VUCA is a military term. And, well, it is, but it didn't start there. It was actually cooked up by two economists, Bennis and Nannis, way back in '85. The U.S. Army War College then picked it up and ran with it because it perfectly described the messy post-Cold War world we were entering. So let's just drill down on that first piece again. Volatility. It really is about the speed and the scale of change. It's the difference between walking up a gentle hill and suddenly finding yourself at the edge of a cliff. The potential for a dramatic shift can come without any warning at all. And uncertainty, well, that's like trying to make a big decision in the dark. You know you need to act, but the crucial information you need to make a good call is either missing or you just can't trust it. It makes moving forward feel like a huge gamble. Complexity. Think of it like a giant tangled ball of yarn. You pull on one thread and it tightens knots in 10 other places you didn't even see. There's almost never one single simple solution to a complex problem. And ambiguity is what happens when you're truly in uncharted territory. The situation is so new, so bizarre, that you don't even know what questions you should be asking, let alone what the answers are. You're completely off the map. Okay, so VUCA gives us a way to talk about the chaos. But does it just have to be a bad thing? A forecast for disaster? Or what if we could look at it differently? What if we could reframe the whole thing? This quote absolutely nails it. See, VUCA might describe the world around us, but our response to it? That's a choice. And if we only see the negative, we can easily trap ourselves in a cycle of reacting poorly. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this leads to a really powerful idea. The goal isn't just to survive a VUCA world. The real challenge and the real opportunity is to become a positive force within it. To not just react, but to proactively create the future you want to live in. So, if we need a proactive strategy, what does that look like? Well, that's where this incredible leadership model comes in. It was designed as a direct antidote to the challenges of VUCA. A futurist named Bob Johansen came up with this. He basically looked at the VUCA problem and said, okay, leaders can't just throw their hands up, they need a strategic framework to fight back. And he called that framework VUCA Prime. And here it is. This is so cool. VUCA Prime literally flips the script on every single challenge. To counter volatility, you need a strong, guiding vision. To cut through uncertainty, you need deep understanding. To simplify complexity, you have to fight for clarity on what really matters. And to navigate ambiguity, you need to be incredibly agile. See, it's a direct response. All right, that sounds amazing in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about the skills and actions we need to actually start thriving in all this chaos, not just surviving it. Johansson points to these awesome, future-focused skills. Things like a maker instinct, that's just the drive to build and create things. Dilemma flipping, which is the art of turning a massive problem into a huge opportunity. Constructive depolarizing is all about bridging gaps and bringing people together. And rapid prototyping. That's about being okay with failing fast so you can learn and get to the right answer sooner. And this isn't just for executives, you know? For every single one of us, it means things like making sure our daily tasks connect to that bigger vision. It means we have to be constantly learning to stay ahead. It means communicating clearly to avoid confusion, and being flexible enough to just drop what you're doing and pivot when things change. Because they will. And this thinking applies everywhere. Just take a look at education. The old, rigid, one-size-fits-all model just can't keep up anymore. It's why you're seeing new approaches pop up, like the OECD's Learning Compass 2030, which is all about making schools more adaptive and giving students the tools to shape their own future in a world we can't even predict yet. So this all brings the question right back to us, doesn't it? We've talked about the problem, we've talked about the antidote, so how do we start building these skills in ourselves right now? Well, the Center for Creative Leadership lays out a pretty clear path. Step 1, you have to be honest with yourself and figure out where you stand with these skills. Step 2, go out and immerse yourself in new, maybe even uncomfortable situations. That's where growth happens. Step 3, look back at your own journey and pull out the wisdom from your experiences. And step 4, this is the most important one. Bring it all back to today and actually use what you've learned. Because in the end, it really all comes down to this single choice. This VUCA world we live in, it's not going anywhere. It is always going to be filled with both danger and opportunity. The real question isn't what the future is going to throw at us. The real question is, which one will you be ready for?